Oh man, we are recording, Rip. I think. I tell you what, this technology. Let me see if I can get this thing playing. Got to get our intro in there. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it. I think it's so loud it's hurting my good ear.
You have a good ear?
Well,
Oh, maybe we shouldn't talk over the intro.
I'm tired of that entrance anyway.
You are?
Yeah. Why? I've listened to it 35 times.
This is episode 35, so 34 now.
Well, I just heard it there, 35.
You don't like that right there? Listen to it. That's a Seymour guy doing this.
Well, I know, but you're just playing it to kiss little ass.
Where do you think they found that at? That of you talking?
Where?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Hell if
That's
I know.
you talking. In the beginning.
Yeah, I thought I was.
You don't know where that came from?
No,
I mean, the beat came. I think my brother actually made this beat.
Oh, yeah?
And then the singers are Seymour and one of the ones. You don't like it? I think it's pretty cool. Do this, Rip. Do this.
I got to watch it. Then the computer will go nuts because I got so much swag and every woman.
Welcome to Lilas Studios.
Every woman in computer land or YouTube land will probably be, and there might be it might shut everything down. There'll be so much traffic because I'm so hot. I'm so over. I got so much swag. I'm the leading swagger in 68-year-olds history right now. And then I got to get my OnlyFans page going when I'm the masked grandpa, with the mask on, the tongue sticking through there. And hey, there's my book.
Welcome to Lilas Studios. Today is, I don't have any idea because we're recording a bunch of shit on the same day. Don't know what day it is. Don't care. It's episode 35.
The most important thing is get my book.
My Rip's book, the book on pro wrestling, lessons from Rip Rogers.
On sale now at
Amazon.com.
Oh, don't get any better than that.
Hey, also, Rip, I don't know if you know this, but in the in our description, so if you go on our YouTube, this thing right now that you're watching, go down in the description. We got all kinds of links in there now, Rip. I put links in there.
That like link sausage or
no, like
or Rick
like
or
a link.
Link.
So I've got a link
Rick
to
link,
your.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Link sausage or Rick Link.
That's really good, man.
But hey, the Beast had some cancer problems. He's got it all taken care of now.
Who?
Beastmaster Rick Link.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm trying to sell your T-shirts right now.
Well, I'll sell
There's
T-shirts,
a link.
Sell my book, but I just wanted to say hello. We're thinking about you, Rick Link.
Who is Rick Link?
Rick, he's been a wrestler since he was a teenager. He must be about my age.
For whatever reason, I keep thinking of the missing link.
No, that was Dewey Robertson.
Dewey Robertson.
Yeah. Dewey's a R.I.P. Rest in peace right
is he?
now. Yeah.
Mm.
Dewey was over. Dewey was jacked to the gills.
Yeah, he was. He looked good.
And then okay.
Your link. I got a link in our thing, man. It's your Pro Wrestling Tees link. It's down there. So if you go down to the description, I think Dakota said he bought one, or somebody said that. Oh, Big Al Robinson said he bought one.
Now, why do you call him Big Al?
I have no idea. Don't you think Al Robinson sounds like a Big Al?
Big Al. Yeah, well, it's like Big Al Bundy.
He's probably real little.
Big Al.
I mean,
Big Al was on Laugh In. Big Al.
I mean, I picture when I think of Al Robinson, I think of Big Al Robinson. I think of a big African American man. He's probably probably a real skinny little white man.
Why are you thinking it?
I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't know. I think of Big Al. His name's not even Big Al. It's Al. But he's probably some little like.
I think you're racist.
I think he probably looks like Downtown Bruno.
Oh my God!
That's probably what he looks like.
And hair down to his back.
Big Al Robinson probably looks like Downtown Bruno.
You know the thing about Bruno when I had Tony Falk was the Big Seven. Oh, and Downtown Bruno, he said his worm was bigger than Tony Falk, so we had to measure it. And I said, "No, Bruno, you weigh about 135 pounds. You're skinnier around. It looks bigger, but the Big Seven, Tony Falk, he's the legit seven, and Tony was the winner. So Bruno was hot about it.
Was he?
I said, well, I mean, he didn't have the gimmick tape thing or anything, which you could do if you're doing the bicep. So the trainers would do, they'd have the gimmick. So they'd turn it one way if you wanted something big, so your arms was measured bigger. Yeah. Then on the waist, you do your waist, you just turn it over, and then your waist would be you lost 2 inches, but your arms gained an inch. Wow, my thing is working. Our gym's great. Don't want to expose everything. You know how the world is.
Some of it, yeah. We have 1,754 subscribers. We need you guys right now. I need to figure out how to put a little subscribe button in here or something. Go to our channel, Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, And we have memberships now, Rip. We need to plug these memberships.
Okay, plug the membership.
Do you know anything about it?
No.
So it's like $1.99, and you get it. Eventually, we're going to have all the top stars on here. We're going to be interviewing live, and you're going to want to ask questions. We got I don't know how it all works, sticker deal, whatever deal. We got a couple of members out there. I know Michael Costello is a member. I know the Opinion Haver, which is the vet's a member. So we're going to plug our members. We're going to answer member questions first. Dakota, you better get your ass in there and become a member, because I know that you, maybe not Dakota. Yeah, Dakota, Buckshot Kid, baby. Get in there. $1.99. That's all it is. What do you think, Rip?
Well, if we're taking in $6 a month, that's $1.50, $1.50 a week.
You can be rich here soon.
Yeah.
All right, so I do want to thank Buckshot Kid. He's getting me on this StreamYard. Worked better today. I got it all plugged in. No lag, he said. So I've got this camera not working. So right now, Rip, we're still on this terrible little camera here on the computer. So it still looks, you see, we don't have good lighting back there. It looks bad. I got the cool little backdrop, though. You think
well,
that
they're
looks
not
cool?
that cool.
I think that backdrop looks awesome. Look, I got your two little emblems up there on the sides.
Well, I got to adjust these things.
You don't think that looks good? Look at that thing.
That's the greatest thing in that right corner.
Episode 35. So we did episode
right?
34, but I put 33 in it.
So people go, I watched episode 33, 33, 35.
That's right.
31, 32, 33, 33, 35.
You got it. Yeah.
And you was a school teacher, and you was a math major.
Hey, if you can figure that out, I'm sure everybody else
31,
can.
32, 33, 33, 35.
In the description.
From Von Lilas, the former school teacher, who's the king, was a former teacher emeritus, retired as a principal school teacher. Your brother Chili, who's been a lifer teacher, and your daughter, your sister Julie, who's also, and it just happens to be the leading scorer in Butler University history. Have we mentioned that before?
I think we have. Yeah.
Okay, but she punched me out, and she's bigger than me, so I ain't going to say
She
nothing.
didn't punch you out.
Huh?
So I think
maybe she threatened.
You know what else we got? We got both microphones working now too.
Well,
I finally figured it out last night. So it only took me 35 weeks to figure out how to run both microphones. So Rip should be sounding good. I think I'm sounding good.
Well, I might sign above average, but
above average at best.
Because I got, I talk a little bit, two languages, Hill and Billy.
Hey, the good thing is, though, Rip, you're in a much better mood today. I mean, last week, let's just call it what it is. You're kind of a baby last week. So, I mean, today's going real well, I think, compared to last week. So.
Well, I'm a human being. I'm like a girl. I have emotions. I have to express myself. And I might have had a bad day, and I was triggered with something. What's another word? And then I was appalled. I was like if you call somebody fat, you're not supposed to. And I was body shamed, and I was, what else is there?
I don't know.
I didn't know which bathroom to go on. They had a guys, a girls, and then they had a question mark that said whatever. So I said, what am I? I lost confidence in myself. It's because of the world. There's too much stress.
But you're feeling better today, I think, maybe, right?
Well, I peed. I got my Coke, and I had my little bits over here. And you need some Cheetos.
You know what I wish you had was some more of that candy that you ate, all of it, but the one Twix that I got earlier.
Did you steal that? Well, I got it from the doctor's office today.
Wish you would have had a little bit more than that.
Well, I wish I would have too. But
so yeah, we need the camera up. We're looking right down at the thing, so it's not the best, but so I want to kind of go over the format so that everybody out there in TV land kind of knows the direction of Wrestling with Rip Rogers.
Now, his format, is that sort of like a 5-mat and then a 6-mat?
Kind of like, but right before it.
Okay, a format. Okay.
Now we've had a lot of production meetings over the last couple of weeks on the vision of where this show is going.
No. Now you're talking like Dr. Tom on whose vision it is.
We've had a lot of.
Von Lilas has got a vision, and I got a vision. Except I'm blind and I can't see, so it's up to you.
A lot of discussion on where this show's headed. So what we're doing
to the toilet
is right. As much as possible, we are going to go live every Friday. As much as possible, Rip. Live every Friday.
Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. Okay.
As much as possible, Rip. Friday. We are going to go live on our interviews as well. So I didn't do Dr. Tom live because I thought, he's kind of like you, send him a StreamYard thing. He's older, wouldn't get it. And then we get on there with him on Zoom today. And what's he say? Man, we do StreamYard now.
Oh, I didn't know what StreamYard was.
Yeah, he was. Well, that's kind of what I thought he would think, but he was a step ahead of us. It's what you just did with Renee Dupree's show the other day when he sent you that StreamYard thing.
Oh, yeah, it gave me all these different options, and I didn't do none of them. Push something else, and it worked. So what the hell?
So a lot of our interviews, we're going to try to go live as well. The only problem is if we only meet one day a week and then you do an interview live and a show live, it doesn't work out real well. You know what I mean?
Well, why don't you just do the live show, but then and put your snippets in there?
What do you mean put them in there?
Well, put your snippets, chop something up of something else. You don't have to need all your stuff live.
But that's what I'm saying, though. People like the request that we're getting from the people and the advice that I'm getting from other people that do this is that if you do your interviews live, you can have the fan interaction.
Okay.
So that's the advantage of going live. Now, we had a whole whopping 3 people on today, I think.
Yeah, but they were 3 semi-attractive people.
But no, I mean 3 fans on. Big Al Robinson and
that's what I just said.
Oh, you think he's attractive?
I said semi-attractive.
Oh, semi-attractive.
So he's average. I mean, we're not expecting to have Charles Atlas on there.
But we also film at like at 11 o'clock on a Friday.
Well, most people are in school or at work.
That's the point I'm making.
Wait a minute.
What time were you on the Renee show?
I can't remember.
What time? Well, you weren't live on the other one, though. I think Renee's been doing some at night. We might have to get into a night show sometime, maybe a Thursday night show or something like that. We'll talk about that in the next production meeting. Okay. I'm just thinking right now.
That'd be our first production meeting. That'd be good.
35 weeks we've had. That would be our first production meeting. Hey, did you watch any of the Mickey James interview? I got part 1 out yesterday, which when you guys are watching this is recorded.
Yeah, I watched part 1 of Mickey James.
What'd you think, man? Did you like it?
She looked good.
She looked good.
Yeah.
Part 2 is out now. By the time this is out, part 2 is out. You know what else we just did live? So that's definitely out when this is out. Was Tasha Steele joined the show on the? My voice just cracked a little bit there. She must have got me a little excited too.
Well, can you blame? Well, I can't blame you.
Now, here's what's going to be interesting. Since we're taping this right now, right? And we did Tasha Steele's live today. Do you think that this episode will ever air? Or do you think YouTube is going to shut us down after that Tasha Steele's interview before this one ever gets a chance?
What did I really say that was so bad?
Well, I'm not going to repeat it.
Okay, I mean,
I'll tell you in the after meeting that we have today. You don't think you said anything that was maybe?
Not really.
No,
I didn't.
No, all right.
I might have said some cuss words, but I didn't. You could say something about a flaccid phallus or whatever, just different terms for anatomy. I can't help that. Hey, there's adults out there. These ain't like it's 6 and 7-year-olds. It's like WWE when they're PG, And then we had the Vince McMahon Kiss Your Ass Club, etc., like that. So, the big boys get away with whatever.
Or do you think we're big boys?
No,
that's what I'm saying.
We're going to be persecuted like who's the guy that's real good is over right now? He's on every other video and he talks real fast. The multimillionaire that lives in a different country, or Tate.
Grant Cardone?
No, Tate.
Who's Tate? I don't
know. If you don't know who Tate is,
I don't know
the 2 Tate brothers, the multimillionaires, got all the
Tate brothers.
Oh yeah, the kickboxers and. They just got canceled from YouTube a while back or last week or something like that.
Talking about the guys that are in WWE?
No.
What are their names?
I don't know.
Oh, the one that, yeah, you do. Logan Paul.
That's Logan. No, I'm talking about the Tate brothers.
I don't know the Tate brothers.
Google the Tate brothers, then you'll see. I can get on my phone.
No, we don't have time for you to Google
he's over.
Something.
He talks fast. Oh, this guy's got so many women. Oh, he's awesome.
Does he have swag?
He invented swag. He's so over. Oh yeah.
Where do you think you got your swag from? Where did that come from?
Probably hanging around your dad.
Got his swag from the king.
See, the king got all that confidence going to Vietnam, being a tennis star in high school, being the leader of the Reinhardt boys and Artie Robertson, etc., walking down to play baseball games. We'd do down there, and then the king would be dominating on the tennis courts, and then he would dominate. Then all of a sudden he'd go to Vietnam and dominate there. And the king was probably had the top numbers for hitting the jackpot or making the kills or whatever the gimmick they called it there.
So what is your final prediction? Do you think this episode is going to air? Do you think our channel will still be alive and well by the
I
time.
don't know. Let's see.
We'll
It could be S&N, Slim and None.
I want a prediction.
Okay.
A yes or no prediction.
Okay, I'll say no. We're fine.
No, we're fine, or no, we're done.
No, we're fine.
Oh, okay.
No,
we're fine.
They're not gonna pull the rug out from under us, because then we'd have to have the kayfabe show with the masks on.
I mean, we've got to be bringing in a lot of money for YouTube. You know,
we're probably making them multi billionaires. Our stuff so.
I mean, we got 1,754 subscribers. Is that what it is? We don't have any new ones today, though. That kind of stinks. What are we going to talk? Hey, listen, this is going to be a shorter show. You know why?
No, why?
We got to get little Lilas off the bus today.
Well, she'll be coming down and complaining about something.
I just got a notification from myself. Wrestling with Rip Rogers will be live today. Tasha Steele's at noon. Episode 34, which is really 35, will be live at some point.
And Tasha was, and why was she late? Because she had to she wanted to look hot for me. She got up and had to have her breakfast. Then she had to go to the gym and work out. And she probably did her nails and did her hair and put lotion all over, and just wanted to look good for me because, I'm just Mr. Swag.
That's why it's so hard for me to plan and do this. So I put out this post saying that we were going to do 2 shows, basically her interview live and then our show live. Well, she was late, so we basically just combined them and made it all into one.
Well, but women, you got, they ain't all there, and they're on emotions, and they just have to. You just got to put up with it.
So, do you think it's okay that we just did what we did today? Like, you think it's all right?
Hey,
we're fine, right?
We just made the best of
Hey, it's like wrestling, man, just on the fly. Sometimes
we call in the ring, baby.
Yeah, call in the ring. Hey, so. God, will it be out by now? What about Dr. Tom today, man? Wasn't that awesome? I'm going to cut that into 3 parts, so it's not all out yet. But if you haven't seen Dr. Tom Part 1, probably doing 3 parts. Dr. Tom Pritchard Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, all coming out.
Shit, we could have Part 1,297. It'd still be great. He got so much.
Probably our best guest we've had many, many months. Rip, he was on fire, man.
He can do it, baby.
You know who we got coming up next?
Bruce Pritchard.
No, we don't, man. Rob Conway, the Iron Man.
The Iron Man.
I don't think the Iron Man will be out by the time people see this. Rob Conway joining Wrestling with Rip Rogers, man.
God, he's jacked.
I haven't seen him for a long time.
Oh, he looks so good.
Yeah.
So I go around and I put a baggier shirt on and pull my crazy wear from 30 years ago, pulled over my love handle. So he looks like Mr. Universe, and I look like 3rd place Mr. Cortland, Indiana. So there's only 3 in the contest. So I'm jealous of Rob Conway, the Iron Man. And anyway, we'll see.
We recorded 4 things today, and you've had the same thing on it, every one of them. Are you going to change shirts for the Iron Man?
No. Plus, if like you was watching Captain Kangaroo, you expect him to have the Captain Kangaroo stuff. If you're watching the Gomer Pyle show, you'd respect Gomer Pyle to have his Army, Marine, whatever he was. And that's just the way it is.
You know what I think I'm going to do on every single show?
No. Hate that cackle.
Hold on. I got to unmute. Dude,
cackle that voice.
Now you can talk.
Now it makes me hate women. I just
somehow when I play video. So listen, I'm learning StreamYard, Rip. So eventually, I just try to do it right now, but
is that like learning Spanish or Latin or learning math? Or
learning StreamYard is very, very similar to learning Spanish. What I'm going to be able to do when I get it all figured out, it's going to be really cool. You ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready. Wait a minute. Drum roll. Okay.
We're going to be able to
Let me give you all my attention. Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to be able to watch like it's called a watch along. Like I'm going to be able to show like a match of you maybe. And we're going to be able to watch it and like talk about it at the same time. The only thing I don't know is if we could do a watch along of something that will get us dinged for copyright.
Oh, probably.
Which I'm sure. I know the ICW stuff doesn't get dinged, so I can at least pull up ICW stuff. and we'll be able to watch them. Like for instance, now I don't think we can. I think we showed this on the last show, but who gives a rip? It's already over.
Right in the thick of things. He's made a tremendous recovery from his broken jaw. There's Rogers. Throws him into ropes, his lightning reflexes.
So now we're unmuted, so they don't see us, I don't think. But I think we can still talk. Let's look at the time. It's at 20 minutes. We'll go back and watch this at 20 minutes. So give us a breakdown. What's happening here, Rip?
Well, this is me wrestling George Weingroff at the Capitol Plaza Sports Center in Frankfort, Kentucky. In ICW, we ran the first Wednesday of every week. We ran Frankfort, Kentucky, which was a big deal because Jarrett ran Louisville, which was not that many miles away from Frankfort, every Tuesday night, and they ran in Lexington at Rupp Arena the first Thursday of every month. So Frankfort was about our best town. These were all ICW fans, just loving wrestling. There's Leaping
Look at them. Look at those fans, man.
Boom. Yeah. That's what it is. This was wrestling. This was pro wrestling.
Emotion.
Yeah, this was not the bullshit they have as pro wrestling today. So who do I blame that on? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He changed the wrestling business because he wanted to. It's just like he changed pro football, made the XFL.
Man.
Within 4 weeks, that thing was done.
It was pretty cool, though, wasn't it?
What was that?
What we being able to do.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
I just wondered if they could hear us talking during it, if that's like a watch along. And also, I learned that when I go to do a lot of this stuff, when it pops up on our screen, because I practiced a bunch of this last night during our production meeting, our walkthroughs that we had.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second. You weren't here, were you?
No, I wasn't here.
Oh, shit, man.
I was sleeping because I didn't sleep the night before.
You should have been here. That like right now, see how our screen doesn't look like you can see us? People can still see us.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good.
So that
right?
was like a false sense. So I could pull my flaccid phallus out and they could see it.
Maybe they
can't see it, but they really could.
Yeah,
see
they
it.
can still see it.
They better get a microscope with it if they want to see it.
I don't know. We're going on the fly right now, baby. I'm going to try this right now and see if this pops up. Oh, watch this.
When you go...
I hear Ronnie Garvin talking.
It should go over us. Oh, yeah, it goes to the side. Look at that.
Oh, that's on the Sheik.
It was terrible footage, but look at that. So he came to ICW?
Oh, hell yeah. Randy and Lanny and Angelo all worked for him in the Detroit territory. I worked for him in the Detroit territory.
But I'm willing to fight.
I'm still scared to death.
So is this just at the studio, like that he's doing this fire thing?
Yeah.
No fire alarms went off.
This is just at the studio. This was probably done in 1970 something.
The official winner of the match between the Sheik and 1981.
That's
Or it
why.
might have been in his offices or
We're
whatever.
sorry we cannot show you what happened.
Sorry, we cannot show you. So look at that. We got Weingroff, and that is awesome.
And Tim Tyler and who else was there? Was it Garvin and Lanny?
I didn't know really. I mean, I saw us, I knew, but I didn't know the Sheik ever really worked with Poffo.
Oh yeah, they were good friends.
Oh, they were really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Well, how would you know? We weren't born yet.
I mean, I'm smart, man. I'm smart to the business, you know.
Oh yeah, the people that say they're smart to the business usually aren't.
It was kind of a joke.
Like Tony Khan.
It's kind of a joke there, Rip. I mean, we're just on fire today. Look at all this shit.
There's Bill Martin.
1981 Rookie of the Year.
He was Rookie of the Year, baby.
Bill Martin.
Whatever happened to Bill Martin?
He still works every once in a while. Jack, there's a Sheik.
Bill Martin's Jack?
Oh, fuck yeah. He trains like a bastard.
At 240 pounds.
Here comes the Sheik. Oh, I know Bill Martin's scared to death.
Think so?
Yes. I would be scared to
Look at that
death.
little kid. See, it looks like we have a little bit of a lag here, but it could just be the old
I believe the Sheik has his
footage.
flying carpet sitting in the
Flying carpet,
Yeah, this was all on the tape, ladies and gentlemen. So this isn't us.
Yeah, this is 1970s.
Yeah.
That's the US
This is what the
heavyweight
VHS.
1981, yeah.
belt that is.
Quite a belt.
Sheik hasn't done anything yet.
How does Bill Martin? How does he get picked to have this match? You think he's like, oh God, why is my name on
Yes.
this? Why is my name on the?
Yes. Pay your dues,
Board.
man. Go get him. Let it ain't me.
Did you ever wrestle the Sheik?
The Sheik is
No, hell no.
Never did.
But he's staring up in the ceiling at.
I would have been
Sheik is this row.
Crybaby Edwards. He's the referee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
The belt.
Yeah.
This could be it here.
If I remember correctly, this goes off the air because they said there's too much
Probably too
violence.
much blood.
Too much violence.
Yeah,
it said, I think.
there was. I remember that.
I mean, they've done nothing so far.
Well, they're just getting Sheik's just
Sheik
getting over
standing
doing
on
this
his
prayer rug
carpet with
thing.
one foot.
People know instead of doing a
Nothing
bunch
has
of
happened
moves, they don't do nothing.
Bill Martin wanting to get over to the Sheik.
Oh, Bill Martin trying to be the aggressor. I don't know if that's
Well,
very
he's got
smart.
to be aggressive for the ref to push him back. See,
Of course, I don't
I
understand
know, but he's the
anything
baby
saying.
face.
I don't think anybody else does for that
he's
matter.
ready, baby.
He's rookie of the year.
Bill Martin is
He's rookie of
anxious
the
to
year.
get in there to wrestle
Year
him.
before was Danny
Sheik
Doyle.
down on one knee.
Was it really?
Yeah.
How do you remember that?
Anxious to get to the
I
You
Sheik.
told me you
remember-
can't remember all this
No,
stuff.
I can remember some stuff.
But you
But
remember?
I can't remember.
You remember
other
Danny
shit.
Doyle?
Something he's
Yeah.
putting
Was
in
that
his boot
ICW?
there,
Yeah.
too, that,
Both knees down.
As
Was
fans
it?
would say, Bill Martin from Shelbyville, Kentucky.
Maybe they don't show any
Actually,
wrestling in
I've
this
heard
one.
it
I
said
could have
that
swore
Sheik
this
puts
was the
himself
one
into a
where
hypnotic trance. So that's part of the procedure that he's going through now. I think that he just goes into a hypnotic trance and then.
Do you think the ICW people knew like what he was doing, or did they have no idea who the Sheik was? The fans, I mean.
The Sheik was legendary.
But there wasn't TV though, really.
Well, but he would be on
Either he's going through some
different
hypnotic
stations where you
trance, or
could, with
he's
the
praying,
antenna,
or he's
Yeah.
doing
you
something
could get
ready to
it.
wrestle.
Now he's going to be on. Now it's going to be nothing but violence.
Ladies and gentlemen, we must interrupt this match and explain to you that we cannot show you the remainder of the match because of the violence that happened between the Sheik
Yeah,
and Bill Martin. We
that's
can
the
tell you
Sheik.
that the Sheik was
The
victorious
Sheik
over
for
Bill
years.
Martin.
He had about a
And during the
20-year
match, the
span.
Sheik-
He was the most
That's why.
dominating heel there was in the wrestling business. No matter where he went, they'd bring him in. It'd just be nothing but blood and guts. Same match, fight outside, go up in the stands, go outside. He'd register. I remember going to him and Dick the Bruiser. I remember they had 15,800 people at Market Square Arena
Wow.
for just a regular match. Then they had a cage match, and they couldn't. And the fire marshals stopped people from coming in.
How old do you think he was there?
Let me see.
I mean, he looked old. I don't know.
Well, Sheik was a guy. When he was young, he looked old.
So I know he was in Detroit forever, but
Mhm.
with that style, you can't stay somewhere too long, can you?
He
I
was
mean,
the owner,
okay.
like Dick the Bruiser.
Yeah.
See, Bruiser went up and at one time, see him and Snyder after they ran Barnett out of town, they opened up an office in Detroit. So that was it. They was running Detroit once a month. So all the Indianapolis crew would go up to Detroit, and for a while it was okay, and then they just burned out. Sheik ran Detroit every second Friday, so it was just like too much wrestling. And,
So did he work on all those shows or just
who's that?
Sheik?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he did. So
Oh yeah, they seen his act. Well, hell.
that's what I'm saying. So did that finally fit? I mean, surely it got after a while. You just
Well, wait a minute. No, it's like Jerry Lawler.
yeah.
Jerry Lawler been there since 1970.
I guess I don't mean a person per se. I just
Okay.
mean that style. Like, how many times can you watch a guy get picked in the head with a
Well, it's
pencil
like
or whatever?
watching Nolan Ryan throw that fastball for 26 years.
Is it?
It's like fucking LeBron James still kicking ass in the NBA, and he's been there 20 years.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and you got to remember, you always got a new audience. They said, "Who's that crazy guy?" Well, that's the Sheik. I never seen him before. Well, you just started watching wrestling 3 weeks ago. Well, I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah. I feel like though that even like that Memphis studio, don't you think a lot of those fans were the same fans every week or no?
Oh yeah, but it's like if you're a Seymour Owl basketball fan, you're a Seymour Owl basketball.
Yeah,
fan.
but you get new players every year. Not,
And they got new wrestlers.
but I'm talking just one wrestler of the Sheik.
Well, what
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I loved him every time I watched him. I was
Oh,
scared to
yeah.
death of him. I was
Uh,
always intrigued, but I
yeah.
didn't see him every
Yeah,
week
I
either. or
mean,
whatever.
what he did was he eventually gave him too much of the same thing.
Yeah.
And people just quit watching. They just quit coming. But
Yeah.
for a long, long time, Detroit was a near sellout crowd every time with the Sheik. But nothing lasts forever. Look at WCW going from beating WWF in the ratings how many weeks in a row. Then they had to sell the thing. They couldn't draw nothing.
Yeah, I think the WCW. What was their WrestleMania pay-per-view? It was God, I
It
can't
was the
remember.
one Starrcade.
Starrcade. I think
Right.
their last Starrcade, The rumor was they sold like 1,000 tickets or something.
Well, that probably. You got to remember, it's like when WCW is doing with AEW. They would have guys switch teams, and then but it was the same old act.
Yeah.
Whether it was Kurt Hennig or it was Hogan, no matter who it was, you can only see so much of the same shit. If they don't go away, how can you miss them?
Yeah.
And all you're doing is changing the channel, watching the same old shit.
Yeah, I remember. I say as a kid. I don't know if as a kid. I guess a kid maybe. But I just remember like Sting was in WCW forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always just think, man, I'd just love to see Sting like wrestle Hogan or whoever was in the WWF at the time, like or even Flair, until Flair kind of got there. But then I don't know if you remember when Flair went to WWF. You remember he cut his hair and he had like a short, like bowl cut.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Hair to the side. You didn't do. I mean, it wasn't Flair. It was like I wanted to see Flair with the long feathered back hair and the robes, and just wasn't the Horseman Flair. I don't feel when he went there.
Now you're switching. Now you're going from a fastball league to a curveball league. You know, now you're going where you're playing pro basketball where they got a 3-point line and one where they don't have a 3-point line.
Yeah.
You're playing football in Canada where they got 3 downs to get 10 yards instead of 4 downs. The psychology is totally different. Treat it like any sport, any business, and then and that's what it is.
Was there ever anybody back in the day that you looked at different, like from territory to territory? Like, for instance, maybe somebody was way underneath in one territory, but was a star in another.
A lot of them.
Were they?
A lot of them, yeah. That's like the guys who worked for WWE, like Tony Gurria and Larry Zbyszko was like tag team champions and all of a sudden they go down to Charlotte because they'd seen their act for 3 straight years in WWF, or it was WWF then, and all of a sudden they go to Charlotte and they'd worked there for maybe 9 months, and then they'd go back there and they were old new faces again. But all of a sudden they wasn't on TV there anymore. So now, oh yeah, Larry Zbyszko's coming back. I can't wait. I hadn't seen him live in a year and a half or whatever. That's like when the Valiant brothers would come in for 9 months, then they would be gone for 3 years. And they could tell you when you were going to come back because they knew. That's like when the guys, when WWE first went big time, they took all the major stars and they didn't steal them. They just offered them all this guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you got 30 guys that are main eventers. They're working the whole card. So you got 2 main eventers working the opener.
Right. Yep.
And all of a sudden, after you've seen the same guys for 3 years, you're thinking, well, if it's the same old shit, we've seen all these people. But now there wasn't really any more because the feeder systems were gone. Because the territories couldn't stay in business because WWE had too many great production values, could offer it. If you was any good, that WWE was going to get you. They was going to offer you all that money. And if you got a chance to make 10 times as much money, I think you're going to make 10 times as much money. Because it's like Honky Tonk still works, is still over from WWF or WWE TV, and he's usually booked every weekend, and he's 69 years old.
Yeah, I just saw him on Twitter. I don't know if it was a new picture or not. He's putting the knee pads on and stuff. Was he just getting ready to wrestle like this past or this coming weekend or whatever?
Probably was.
Thought he said like have
no bumps.
No, I don't. Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, hell, I didn't take a bump last time I had a match. I'm sure Honky's not taking a bump.
He ain't taking no bump.
So what about you personally? You individually, like when you went to different territories, did you know when you were going in, hey, I'm going to be like first match guy, or hey, I'm going to be a champion title guy?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
Or did they not figure it out until they got there and you saw how you were and then decided?
A lot of stuff is like when I left ICW, I went into Watts to work underneath. So, but Watts paid me more money underneath than I would do making on top in other places. Because he ran big arenas and he had an expensive ticket price, and he valued his underneath guys because they could be working on top somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
And then from there, I went to Ron Fuller, and I was there 11 minutes or 11 months. 11 minutes. That was a cup of coffee run, wasn't it? And when I was there, I come in, I was the smallest guy there. So I was working at junior heavyweight. Then that's when Fuller kept me off TV 6 weeks just to see. And he said at the end of 6 weeks, after not being on TV, I still had more heat than anybody. But I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing stuff to get heat. People just hated my ass.
Yeah.
It's like people,
well, I mean, understandable.
Yeah, it's like people hated Buddy Rose in Portland. So we worked an angle where I was too heavy for the junior heavyweight thing. I was working against Jacques Rougeau, and he started calling me. He doing the fatso yell. And I'd pull my pants up real high over my love handles, and I probably weighed about 205.
Yeah.
But I had more heat doing it because they say fatso, and you don't call me fatso or I'm leaving, right? So the whole match is him just yelling fatso. It is so easy and so much fun. Then I ended up, when I left there, as I worked 10 weeks in a row with Austin Idol, who was the top guy. And before I'm leaving, Ole calls me up because he was real tight with Bob Armstrong, who was a business partner with Ron Fuller. He calls me up to come in to work Atlanta, where he said the Road Warriors are going to leave and go to AWA, which was their home area.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted me to come in and be with Ted Oates and be the second version of the Hollywood Blondes. And then because Pillman and Austin were the third group of Hollywood Blondes. And he says, well, I want you to be transition title holders. The tag belts was the National Tag Team Championship at that time. And then from there, I went to Wahoo and Tampa and everything. But I don't know, how did we get on this?
I was asking about if they brought you in as like underneath guy or champion, because I always thought it was weird because, I mean, I didn't obviously wasn't in the territories with you, but I would just keep up with you because you would be in contact with the king. And then, all of a sudden I'd see you on TV somewhere, maybe it was Bruce or whatever, getting the shit kicked out of you. And then all of a sudden you're sending pictures or something and you got like a title somewhere. I'm like,
right.
How do you go from getting beat up real bad to being a champion somewhere else?
Yeah, that's like I was working for WCW and I was working for Ole or Watts, one of them, the other, and then I'm all of a sudden in the top cartel in Global.
Yeah.
But I'm doing TVs at the same week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just they'd fly me out to Dallas and they'd make a bunch of tapes there. So I'm losing on this channel, but I'm winning on this channel. But if they see you as a winner on the other channel and all WCW, Jody Hamilton said, hey, go expand, do whatever. And I was working for Cornette too on the side there at Smoky Mountain. So he said, just get your face out there. Just people know that you're a pro wrestler.
Yeah, I don't remember if they were doing it at the same time or not, but WWF would use some of those Memphis guys. I remember when the Moondogs went to WWF and they were like, but they just got shit kicked out. They were like nobodies. They would come up and
confuses the fans,
lose to somebody real quick. And I'm like, these guys are freaking nuts on Channel 3. They kill everybody. And I watched them on WWE have a match. I don't even think they had much of like an introduction or anything, and just lost real quick. And
that's like what Vince used to do. If you was with him, he wanted you to kill the NWA guys because they were the enemy.
Yeah.
So it's like he made Ronnie Garvin, who's a former NWA champion, a referee.
Yeah. I never understood that either. Like I was like, why is this guy a referee?
Well, Garvin was going to give his notice. He says, no, they want entertainment. He says, I'm a wrestler. I'm not entertaining, and I know that. He said, but I was making so much money. So then I started refereeing. I made so much. He said, I made more money there than NWA champion because they paid you so well.
That's wild.
So it would be like if you was an NWA guy and then Vince would have his guys just destroy the NWA guys just to hurt the other guy's name. He'd pay him real well. But then if they would go back to NWA, then they weren't as marketable.
Yeah.
He was just trying to show that his product was better, which is just smart business is what it is.
Well, I know they kind of used Memphis as developmental. I don't know if it was ever official, but I know they had guys down there all the time and bring them up. But do you remember, Virgil?
Yeah.
Do you remember him in Memphis?
Yeah.
He was Soul Train Jones.
Yeah.
And was wore all the gimmick and beat people up and was real big baby face. And then you see him on WWF as Virgil. Is like, what the hell? I've been watching this guy for a year on Memphis, be a star.
Well, that's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
But Buddy Rose was the shit in Portland for 9 years. And everything revolved the territory around him. He was in the first WrestleMania under the hood as the masked executioner.
That's awesome.
So you just don't ever know.
Yeah.
It's just another night at the office. Take your money, get in, get out, don't get hurt, and live to see another day.
It was confusing for a little
Right.
a little Von Lilas at home, though, you know. That is my birth name, by the way. So we got about 5 minutes here, Rip. I got to get Lilas off the bus. But there was one thing I had written down for Pritchard, Dr. Tom, that I didn't get to because it was going through his career a little bit. And it was the USWA. So remember when Memphis was like the CWA or whatever?
Yeah. It was basically CWA with Jerry Jarrett. And Jerry sold the rest of it to Jerry Lawler. And that was when it was USWA.
So the USWA, they had, now this is Wikipedia.
Okay.
Could not be right, maybe. But it said like when it had like Pritchard was on there with Steve Austin. They're managed by Tojo or whatever. But they said that was the Texas part of USWA. And then there was a Memphis part. Was there two parts of USWA? No.
Oh, every Friday night, they would take a bus to Dallas.
For the Memphis USWA?
That's right.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Well, how far would that be?
It's probably 10 hours or something like that. 10, 11, maybe.
For what reason? They have TV there, or why?
Yes.
Did they?
Yeah, and then they drew real good in the Metroplex there because the Von Erichs had that thing on fire for years. But anything of you got to remember, anything of too much is the same thing, burns it out quickly.
So USWA kind of was in both then, kind of in a roundabout way.
Well, it'd be like if we was in ICW in Lexington, and once a week we drove to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and worked a show there every week.
Yeah.
And then we come back. It was a long trip and it was tough, but
did they make TV out of Texas then? Did they use anything for TV?
Their own local thing.
Yeah.
So if you was a tape trader or whatever, you could have seen Jerry Lawler. He might be working babyface in Memphis, but he was a heel in Dallas.
So he owned it then? You think that was Lawler that owned that then?
If it was USWA, yeah.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think that's
what did CWA stand for? You know, it was in
Continental Wrestling Association.
I always thought it was Championship Wrestling
or
maybe,
something.
But it was Continental. You're right, because on that Vice thing that we just watched, that Memphis territory thing, they did call it Continental. I always thought it just stood for Championship Wrestling Association or whatever.
Championship Wrestling America or whatever.
It was, it was Continental though. Wow, man. All right, Rip. Well, we're gonna have to get this thing wrapped up. I mean, we're not going that long today on episode 35, but we're at 43 minutes. I think we've talked about some pretty good stuff on here today.
Not bad.
Not bad. I mean, I would rate it pretty good show, man.
Well, usually you're rating it a shitty show, so
I know you.
So what the hell?
You really turned the corner today, Rip.
Well, that's okay. Here's something today. It's like I always like to watch Dutch Mantell's because Dutch is a very smart guy and he tells some great stories. He was talking about how he's in the Smithsonian Institute, him and Jeff Jarrett, they had a match to music. And I said, I'm thinking, wait a minute. And the guys was something amazed. Anyway, to make a long story short, I did the same son of a bitch first. He said he was first. I did the thing in.
He said he was the only, I think.
Whatever it was, I just shook my head because I worked with Bart Batten. Bob Geigel took us there to Lincoln, Nebraska, to the public television. And the guy that did it was from Wichita State University. That was the first time he did it as a test round. So me and Bart they played music the whole time. So we did one or two things where it was past 25 minutes. Then he made because I used to have the taper above it. But then Dutch said, but then again, you can't believe nothing any wrestler says. Get real. Man,
Dutch stole your Savage story. He's stealing your Smithsonian story. I tell you what, man.
That'd be okay.
Come on, Dutch.
That'd be okay. But no, Dutch Mantell is one of the greats. He's learned how to survive without being related to anybody.
I think he needs you on his show. I know you're against that or whatever. Don't think he wants you on it or whatever. Dutch Mantel, baby, get Rip on there. Oh, that reminds me, we got to go, but I gotta get this out real quick. That triggered me. I've been getting some anonymous emails, Rip, about me being mean to the Supreme Wrestling, Eric Draven and Supreme Wrestling. I made some comments. Supposedly I was mean about it or something like that. Listen, I didn't take any shots at Eric Draven. I think he's great. He's been doing the same thing for about 25 years. So if you have that longevity, they're in Madison, Indiana, you got to be doing something right. He's a trainer. He's got a weekly show, doing all that good. The only thing I said was they were out in the crowd every single match. They were around little kids. I didn't think a lot of them had enough experience to be able to do that kind of stuff. My kids were a little concerned. My wife was concerned. I just said, you don't need to be in the ring or in the crowd every single match. Save it for the end. That's all I said, Rip.
Okay, it's like
I didn't say anything bad about Eric Draven or Supreme Wrestling as a whole.
It's like this. You know how to work, and then you got to know how to work to your slot. But what they saw a lot of people in Seymour, and they probably hadn't worked to that live crowd, that great audience. He probably said, okay, loosen up. People are here. Have some fun. Do all the stuff you wanted to do. Because everybody, if you're working in the open, you want to do more stuff, right? That's like Randy Savage told me. He says, hey, you're in the main event. Work like a main eventer. So I'd work a completely different, more aggressive style, etc. But that takes years and years to learn. So that when you're the main event, you don't go out there and hold nothing back. But if you're working underneath, that's general. But if the promoter says, the booker, go ahead, have some fun tonight. Do what the hell you want to do. Just have a good time.
There's the bus. So I apologize to Supreme Wrestling. That's it. I mean,
the main thing, little Lilas is getting off the bus, right? She'll probably hit me in the nose and kick me in the leg and whatever. And she'll say, who's been eating my food?
We got to go. Episode 35. Like, subscribe.
And smash, but just think Father of the Year, Husband of the Year.
God, I need it. Keep
Educator
going.
of the Year.
Don't stop now, Rip.
Guy making tapes of the year. And we're out of time anyway, so what the hell?
Yeah, I need to get 2 of these on here. So one of them just gets right to the music, like the old. Like that should be our intro, and then the music should be our outro. We got to listen to you talk.
Technology.
I know I'm gonna get it.
Change your shirt.
Long time ago, man.
Oh,
yeah. There we go. Do this, Rip. Come on, let's end it out. Good.
I got that swag.
Get that swag.
And I got that wash rag rolled up down my pants.
How many other 68-year-olds can sit here and do this, you know?
It's supposed to